Part of Pharos Architectural Controls' 20th birthday celebrations, we're spotlighting 20 people and projects that have helped to shape our company, our products, and inspire us to keep innovating. And today we're thrilled to be joined by Sara Viele from Merlin Entertainment Group to talk about the iconic landmark that Pharos is proud to control, and that's the London Eye. And I'm also joined by Ryan Sainsbury from Pharos. Hi Ryan, hi Sara.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So, Sara, I think a good place to be starting off with would be telling us a little bit about yourself and what your role is specifically at the London Eye and what it is that you do.
Yes, sure. So I am currently an AV specialist at the London Eye, and I've been covering this position for the past 5 years. My main duties basically are making sure that the eye lights up every night with the correct color, which usually is our brand color, but it could change to whatever customers may have asked, or if there's like some British commemorations, we make sure to be a landmark for those as well. I also cover the audio, the network, and the screens across the attraction as an AV specialist. And yeah, this is pretty much my day-to-day duties.
Yeah, so a lot of responsibilities because obviously, you know, it's a iconic landmark. The AV system is, you know, quite a big one to look after. So one thing that I kind of wanted to ask, so specifically, what kind of Ferris products do you actually use on site?
So we have several LPCs, 2 mounted directly onto the rim, and then other 3 across the building. We also use a TPC in our ride control, so our engineers can have a direct access to the lights. And then we recently have implemented the cloud system for our marketing and PR, so we can hand them an easy interface to use, especially for live activations, because sometimes they might be at the other side of the river taking photos, and they want the lights to change color, and they wouldn't have any other access other than Wi-Fi. So we pretty much use these 3 products. They're all connected together within the same LAN, and that's how we communicate, even though they're not all hardwired one within each other, basically.
Yeah, it's quite a big distributed system. When you plug into the network, you get all of these controllers ping up on Designer. But yeah, I think it is really interesting how you guys have kind of set that up. One thing that's really interesting is the actual Pharos LPCs are actually on the rim of the eye themselves. And I believe you've got a pretty strong transmitter and receiver, which allows you to kind of connect to them directly, which is not something that I've seen before. Yeah, but it is a pretty big system. I think that kind of talks a lot to kind of how scalable we can be, and also how we can have these distributed systems that can control different areas. So one thing that I thought was a really interesting comment that you said there was the kind of the usage of Pharos Cloud. So I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on down at the London Eye, and then of course the one of the big things that you do is you use your lighting system quite a lot for a lot of different kind of events. So talk to me a little bit about how kind of you use the Pharos system for, you know, your kind of special events and commemorations, and how that kind of all ties in together with your light ups and what your light ups are.
Yeah, so basically every night you may have noticed that the eye turns on, and every morning we turn it off to save a bit of energy and also have less of a lighting pollution. So we mainly turn on with the color of our branding, but as I said, like, you might have noticed the New Year's Eve light ups, or the Christmas light ups, or some others that have been portrayed across the country for whatever reason. So what I do usually is make sure at the beginning of the month that every day is the correct light, like the correct color. It will turn on at sunset, and all of that is doable thanks to the Pharos triggers, really. Like, everything is preloaded for me, and I just have to make sure I am coding the right color for the right day, and I know it's gonna go live fine. The colors are usually they get given by clients, and I always ask for an RGB note and be like, can you give me this color? And obviously we're working with lights, so it might be a bit different, but I've noticed it's always quite reliable, and it looks a lot like the lighting admittance is very good compared to the code that they've given us. It's also very sharp to design. It allows me to be very creative, and that had its own impact on other people's head as well, because I've received a lot of praise for my designs, and I have to be honest, it's all because Pharos is very, very easy to use.
Amazing.
Sara, can I ask of the various light ups and some of the requests that you've received, do you have a personal favourite kind of installation that's been done on the eye?
Well, definitely my personal favourite was the Barbie light up for the premiere of the movie, mainly because I'm a big Barbie fan. I've always been playing with it, but it was nice to have the full cast on site doing a live activation. So it was pre-programmed to the point of I've designed it according to the client's requests, but we only made it live when the cast pressed the button, and that was the power of the cloud, really, because allowed me to connect whatever I had on site to the rim. So I designed this wave starting from the bottom of our landscape, lighting up all the trees, and then it would light up the wheel and do a whole design for 2 minutes. And then it would stay on with the Barbie pink for the rest of the night. And everyone just was amazed on how quickly and direct that was.
Amazing. And I think that's kind of like a key point, because obviously the London Eye is a key landmark within London, right? It's iconic in a way. You know, whenever someone sees that, they pretty much always think of London. So obviously that area has a lot of tourism, and as soon as anything happens with the Eye, as soon as the lighting changes, of course you have people looking up at it, they're taking pictures, and maybe even trying to find out, oh, it's going a special color, I wonder what that relates to. So for those commemorations and for those kind of special events, it's a really kind of key system, I would have thought, for you guys. So you talked about some of the kind of some of the features that you really liked about our products, and I'm kind of interested to know a little bit more about those experiences. I believe there was one where you were talking about using the kind of the moon phase triggers within Pharos.
Yes, as an AV specialist, I also help out other Merlin attractions, such as the sea life, and fish and other animals are very delicate when coming to sun phases and moon phases. So we had this project where we tried to get sea dragons to mate, and we had to use the moon phase triggers because they would only mate at a certain time of the month, basically. And it really helped the whole project, because all I did was creating 4 different timelines for 4 different times of the month, and they would change by themselves, basically. So I knew that once I installed the system, that would have worked and it would have been fine. And so it did at the end.
Perfect. And yeah, I think that's like a really good example of people kind of using our hardware in like really intuitive ways. Obviously talked about like, using the different types of triggers, the fact that you're running timelines there. Obviously in previous kind of conversations, I know you've talked a lot about using kind of Pharos Cloud and its scheduling and its reliability and ease of use. So, for us, that's obviously really, really good feedback for us to hear about a system. So you talked quite a lot about some of the favorite creations that you've done at the Eye. Obviously one of them being Barbie, also talking a little bit about New Year's Eve. Is there any other specific kind of light ups or kind of creations that you've been really kind of proud of whilst you've been working with our hardware?
Well, I found a very good tool in the Pharos Cloud again, to do the live scoring of the World Cup. So we would basically, my PR and marketing team asked me, can we do this? And I said, yes, of course we can. We're going to work it out. And so the Eye would have been would state of the England flag colours for the night. But if someone between France or England would score, they would just press a button from the comfort of their own house, like the PR team, and and the eye just changed and it flickered with the basically a kind of celebration of scoring for the team. So that was really cool. And we've also done it again for the Eurovision final, scoring, like live scoring for England and Ukraine, since it was a bit of a merge between the two countries last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I think that's again such a kind of interesting thing, right? So, you know, you could be sitting at home watching, you know, the sport or watching Eurovision. You've got your, you know, your mobile phone out, press a button, and obviously the London Eye then reacts to it. And I think that kind of talks to a lot to kind of like the interactivity nowadays that we're seeing a lot of these kind of installations having. They want to kind of have this almost instantaneous feedback to kind of live events that are going on. And obviously, you know, cloud is one way that you could do that. We also have lots of options for kind of integration with other systems that can really help that. But that's just a really interesting thing. I can't imagine just being sat at home watching my favorite football team and then just pressing a button and lighting up some big installation. Yeah, a lot of power for someone's hands. Really interesting stuff, and I've really kind of enjoyed this conversation. And kind of for me as well, kind of one of the closing points is it's really good to see end users like yourself making use of the Pharos system and you know, really kind of relying it as a tool for your business and what you do. So I think it, you know, to speak to someone like yourself has been yeah, it's been really good for us, and always, you know, it's nice to hear that you're really liking our products. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no, definitely like it. And as I said, it's so reliable that I know that if I do all the coding correctly, it will go right. And even when there are like issues, usually it's never a headache to fix. It might be that you've just given the wrong address or there's some cabling that is gone loose. It's not something that will take you months to fix. It's like 2 hours max, and then you got it. And I really like how customizable it is. So sometimes I might have some lights that are not on the library yet, but I can create my own by using different inputs. And yeah, it's great for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's again something that we hear quite a lot of, like, you know, that flexibility, those key features, the advanced show control capabilities, and then yeah, just having, you know, a really good software platform that allows you to program and commission our hardware is yeah, it's a tool that we focus on a lot. And obviously we glad to hear that it's kind of making jobs like yours a lot easier, which is exactly what it's intended to do. So yeah, again, great to hear all of that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sara, for joining us to help celebrate Pharos 20th anniversary. We're really proud to be working with the London Eye, and yeah, here's to many more celebrations.
Yes, thank you guys. Absolutely.
Perfect. Brilliant. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks.